Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com. And on March 3rd, I'll be in Atlantic City at the Tropicana for Ring of Combat 79. And on that card tonight is my guest, DeJon Farrell-Francis. DeJon, how you doing, my man? It's great to talk to you for the first time. You're making your pro debut. We're a couple weeks out. Just tell me how you're feeling, like thinking about it, because there's always that mental part too.
It's actually a huge wave of emotions: ecstatic, nervous, scared. It all hits at once. Like I was saying before, even my first fights, I still feel. Even though I have many fights, this fight still feels like my first fight. Same type of nerves.
DeJon, since, I'm learning about you, tell me about your path into fighting and mixed martial arts. How did you find this sport? When did you fall in love with it and, decide that, you really wanted to compete?
Honestly, I always wanted to get into some sort of martial arts when I was a kid, but the poverty state we were in way back when, I never had the ability to. But once I got out of the Army and joined a job 8 years ago, now 10 years ago, actually, I jumped into karate, and then karate became BJJ, then BJJ became boxing, and I loved it ever since.
I'm doing my homework and I'm checking out, what you've been doing. You've been very active. I mean, you've been taking grappling matches, you've been taking kickboxing matches on top of MMA. I love, what you and the Ramirez Fight House are doing with your career. Now you're taking on a guy 2-0 as a debut. Talk to me before we talk about the fight. Talk to me a little bit about, your coaches and your training partner, because Rogers is a great dude. I've got to become good friends with him, and I know, he loves his guys so much. Talk to me a little bit about, camp with your team and some of the guys that are, kicking your ass in that room to get you ready.
I got a plethora. Yeah, I feel like we'll be all here all night if I explain it, but I'll try to be simple about it. But Rogers reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger's first coach when he got into bodybuilding. He'll grind you into the sand, but he's only doing that because he won't make you do anything that you wouldn't be able to do, but he'll push you to your limits so you can become better. Like he's not doing anything curriculum. He's not doing everything by a book. He's doing everything. He's training us through a passion. It's not like a Monday to Friday. He puts us to the brink. Like, I'll tell you the truth. I hate going to training. That's when I know training is good. When you hate going to training because you're going to get the crap kicked out of you. But then like he was explaining to me, you feel so relieved when you get out of it. You're like, that was like a huge challenge you accomplished. So it brings your confidence up. And it also brings your physique up. I've never been in so much shape in my life. Like, he doesn't really teach us too much technique per se. He refines our technique. He doesn't try to change our style. He doesn't try to make me a wrestler. He knows that I'm a striker. So it's like, all right, well, we're going to give you anti-wrestling to improve your striking. Like, he refined all my striking skills along with the other fighters. I mean, we currently have just 2 heavyweights to just throw me around and make it so much harder. Like my power increased so much because I have to fight guys or train with guys 50 plus pounds heavier than me, and they're learning from me because they have to face guys that are probably going to be half my speed. But since I'm so fast, they have better reaction time,
Absolutely. Hey, listen, you need to be in there against bigger guys, especially, listen, let's look at this fight. And when I look at this fight, I'm saying to myself, okay, Tom Lane is, he has a wrestling background. I mean, DeJon, I know that you don't have a wrestling career. I'm sure you work on the ground, but looking at this fight, I'm saying DeJon has to find a way not to, get taken down and held down for the majority of the fight. Tell me, your quick observations. I'm sure you feel the same way. Talk to me a little bit about the game plan and how you see Tom Lane as an opponent. I mean, he has 2 fights, but you have a lot of experience. You've been in the Army, so that's a wealth of world experience, not just fighting. I mean, that's real life shit. You know what I mean? So talk to me about how you see your opponent and how you see this fight.
I mean, I will say, with this fight, even though it's pro and there's only a certain amount of rules, like illegal things that you can do, like it's really a street fight. It's still nothing compared to being shot at. It's nothing compared to being out in the middle of the desert, dehydrated, exhausted every day, but it's still the same type of fear, it's that fight or flight still hits you. And Tom being a wrestler, like he's been a wrestler a huge majority of his life. He knows the grind. He knows the aggression he has to have. And like, there's no such thing as a lazy wrestler. They're freaking. They're always. They have amazing cardio. They're always like a bull. They're always rushing, and they commit. So I'm not saying that I'm going to be a better wrestler than them in 2 months. When I got the notice in 2 months, like, I'm not going to be a golden Olympic wrestler, but I will make it difficult. Like, the worst case scenario is I get taken down. If I can take that stress and go to those deep waters and take that stress, I know I'll be fine. It's just a matter of grit at this point. You have to know who wants it more. Like, I have to hurt him to the point to where he breaks and he gets put to his limit. And then at that point, it's about to see who has the better chin and who wants to win.
Awesome. All right, well, listen, let's talk about something a little bit pressure. Okay, weigh-ins. You go to the weigh-ins Thursday night. You weigh in. What's that good meal you're looking for after the weigh-ins? And what do you do Saturday to unwind? Do you do a little walkthrough? Talk to me about your schedule from after the weigh-ins until the fight.
Oh, I mean, when I saw the Tyson Fury Wilder fight, I think it was number 2. It was number 2, and how, like, you're fighting for the world title, and Tyson Fury is just laying there on his little iPad watching the fight, smiling, chilling, lounging, like he's calming himself, and that's the exact way I want to do it. Like, I'm probably, tell you the truth, I'm gonna give in to my inner demons and have some Taco Bell after the weigh-ins. I can't help that. I love Taco Bell, but that Saturday morning into the fight, I'm probably gonna be lounging at Atlantic City. I haven't slept in a nice silk bed in a while. I'll probably lay in that all day, Look at some fights, look at some motivating movies up until the event.
Excellent. Once again, DeJon Farrell-Francis, and he is taking on Tom Lane, Freight Train Lane, on March 3rd. I'm excited to be cage side, calling the action with Raging Al Iaquinta. Once again, thank you for giving me some time for My MMA News. DeJon, before we go, give out any shout outs or love. It doesn't have to be a fighter, some family, anybody who's cheering hard for you, giving you some kind of support besides the fight game. Listen, family and friends are so important when you're in this sport. It really is. I mean, a lot of you need that because it's a lonely fight in that cage. So talk to me about the people who have been giving you love and support that you would like to say something to.
I got a lot of people. I'm sorry. We're going to be here for like a good minute, but
hey, take your time, my man. Those people deserve their time. You know what I'm saying? Because they, like me, they appreciate the effort and grind you put in. I mean, it is such a great sport, but like you were saying earlier, it's a hard sport. It really it's an unforgiving sport. So the time is yours. Take what you need. Give some love out.
Hey, I appreciate that. Well, family, friends, supporters, the Lord himself, because we all know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. It wasn't for the faith, I wouldn't be who I am today. Ramirez Boys Fight House, Echo Company 1/150th, for all those times they gave me suited days off a drill to come in and fight and come in and train. I thank every single one of you guys. And Canyon Express and Taco Bell, I mean, they those are my sponsors. They contribute to making this fight happen. So I'm thankful.
Listen, my man, best of luck to you. Best of skills to you heading in with your weight cut and your final preparations. I'm excited to see you fight for the first time. Wishing you nothing but the best in your professional career. And let's do this again sometime. It was a pleasure talking to you for the first time. Give my man Rogers a big hug for me.
I will, sir. Thanks again for everything. And it was an honor being on this small talk with you.
My pleasure.